means effective. So what does effective mean? The CDC says that a vaccine is considered effective, meaning it can be sold and put on the market and distributed if antibodies are produced. If they can inject you and it produces antibodies to the particular condition, then it's effective. That does not mean that the disease goes away. They do not consider it's effective clinically that they don't get the condition anyway. Effective just means they inject the person, antibodies are produced. Okay? There's a big difference between that and then the person not contracting pertussis or whooping cough or whatever. There's a big difference. All right? So that means people with high antibody counts may get sick, while people with low antibody counts may not get sick. Okay? And this was an example, it's an article abstract that relates to this with tetanus, and they found tetanus occur in immunized patients that had serum levels of high antibodies, meaning they got the injection, they had high levels of antibodies, and they still got tetanus, even though they had the injection, from a commercial tetanus thing. Whooping cough, okay? This is one where whooping cough, which is something that people get very afraid of, their kid having whooping cough, and they're having it in an immunized population. Another one, pertussis infections are common in immunized people. More prevalent, previous documented, 98% were vaccinated in this particular population. So, and they still had pertussis. All right? Outbreaks have occurred in 100% vaccinated populations. They've had outbreaks. So much for the concept of herd immunity that, well, we have to make sure everybody gets vaccinated and then you can't possibly get it. So they have studies where they have 100% vaccinated populations. They still had those, and this was the U.S. government, okay, publishing this in 12/29/89, okay. 80% of cases of measles are contracted in vaccinated people. 80% of the cases are in vaccinated people. So the whole thing, well, you guys not getting vaccinated are hurting my kid, that's a ridiculous statement and a ridiculous argument. You should be able to know that and answer that now if someone says that to you. All right? Pertussis hospitalizations and mortalities in the United States, 85 to 88. Okay? There were more pertussis since vaccination.
What is pertussis?
It's a whooping cough, isn't it? It's called pertussis.
Like whooping.
Yeah, it's
it's
like
a cough. Okay.
With mandatory vaccination, 5 doses of DPT vaccine, pertussis occurs at a far higher rate now than before the introduction of the vaccine. There's a substantial underreporting of pertussis, including hospitalizations. And again, this was 85-88 in the Journal of the American Medical Association. So next time a child, when your family is being brought to somewhere, say, say to the doctor, that the Journal of the American Medical Association, which you're probably a member of, published that there's more rates of this than before the vaccine. All right? And then you think, well, why do they still give it? Why do they give it? And it's because doctors tend to refuse to, admit mistakes. All right? Vaccines interfere with transplacental immunity. This is very, very important. All right? Girls who are vaccinated have less protection to pass on to their unborn child. Understand, you pass on immunity in the womb. So more measles now occur in children less than 1 and adults 25 and up because of that. This is a serious problem because vaccination basically interferes with that transplacental immunity. When a girl's vaccinated, she doesn't develop the natural immunity, and years later when she gets pregnant, okay, she's not able to give her unborn child the same immunity and protection that she got. So then you have a trail of people needing vaccines because their immune systems slowly weaken, generation by generation. Do you understand that? An important thing about this is that you can help with breastfeeding also does share immunity. Whooping cough deaths. This is another major one. Whooping cough deaths increase despite all the vaccinations. The number of infants dying from whooping cough is rising despite record high vaccinations. All the deaths in 2000 occurred among infants under the age of 4 months. Since the early 80s, reported pertussis incidence has increased cyclically, with peaks occurring every 3 to 4 years. And again, morbidity and mortality report is a government publication, okay, cdc.gov, February 1st. But the thing is, people don't see these. The general public doesn't have access to that kind of information to have that to make an informed decision, all right? And that is because of transplacental immunity. Measles vaccinations. These are things that are related to measles vaccinations. It's a long list. I don't know if I can read all of it. Encephalitis, Guillain-Barré, convulsions, seizures, anaphylaxis, atypical measles, thrombocytopenia, optic neuritis, ocular paralysis, retinitis, deafness, otitis media, earaches. Now, I want to get otitis media. Okay. What do they do when they get otitis media from the vaccination? What do you think the next thing is that they do?
I think you give medicine.
Antibiotics.
Antibiotics and yeah.
Okay, to further kill your immune system. Right? It's a one-step over ulcerative colitis, bowel disease, Crohn's disease, headaches, dizziness, rashes, autism, hearing and vision problems, arthritis, arthralgia, behavior and learning problems, chronic fatigue, and where is this? Vaccines, United Kingdom, 1997. So vaccines can cause a lot of sickness in addition to not necessarily protecting you. In other words, so you got a shot, it can produce antibodies, it doesn't mean you won't ever